Assalamualaikum, khabar semua. Alright, bertemu kita kembali dalam siri webinar Kepimpinan Wanita, anjuran PKW UKM, ya, Pusat Kepimpinan Wanita Tun Fatimah Hashim. Hari ini sedar tak sedar siri webinar kita telah sampai ke siri ke-10 bagi tahun ini, ya. Semalam kita dapat Perdana Menteri yang ke-10. Hari ini kebetulan siri webinar kita juga sebenarnya telah menjangkau ke siri ke-10. Alright, so tema untuk webinar pada hari ini adalah impact of community building on women. Ya, alhamdulillah pada pagi ini kita sangat bertuah kerana kita ada seorang tetamu yang sangat istimewa, dan hari ini kita punya webinar ni dengan izin, ya, kita akan buat dalam dua bahasa, bahasa Inggeris dan juga bahasa Melayu. Okay, with that I would like to welcome Madam Vatsala Nair Manoharan.
Hi.
Hai, Vatsala. Khabar?
Hi, thank you for having me here. Khabar baik. Betul, we got the PM ke-10 and today we are doing the 10 series. Memang ngam lah macam tu kan. Right, thank you for having me here, Dr. Mimi. It's a great pleasure.
Yes, it's a great pleasure to have you today, Vatsala, and I'm sure that you have a lot of sharing today. First of all, let me introduce to everyone. Our speaker today is the CEO of Moms Village. This organization aims to enable these empowered women to be financially independent towards improved quality of life and generation quality. So this organization also aims to champion SDG 5 and 3 in order to transform their lives through domestic violence advocacy and digital training program to catalyze social economic empowerment and community building. Oh, wow, this is really inspiring, and I'm sure that you have a lot to share, and I think this will definitely get the users to see in different light. So, Vatsala, can you share with me what influenced you to start with this kind of activity? I'm sure you with your colleague Rosalind does, yeah?
Yes, absolutely. And I will never, I cannot do this without Roslyn and talking about community building, right? So community, no, that's coming back to where I started. So I started masa tahun 2017, around that. I was part of this digital community. Lepas tu I tengok, masa tu sharing pasal baby, masa tu baru ada anak kan. I have twins, I have 2 kids. So sharing about apa nak bagi makanan kat baby, apalah anak I sakit, apa nak buat. So I come from a nuclear family, so literally surviving alone kan. So bila I tengok all these other mothers were sharing on social media, rasa macam community pula, macam ada sense of belonging kan. So you know, we need to have a sense of belonging, baru rasa macam safe, baru nak trust dia orang, baru sharing. So macam tu lah journey I start. So bila I started macam tu, I felt good. And then of course, along the way, it switched from just tanya-tanya je, lepas tu tengok ada problem sikit kat sana. What problem? Of course, like I said, if you know Moms Village, ada 3 pillars. Number 1 is advocacy, number 2 is empowerment, number 3 is community building. So advocacy, we are focusing on gender-based violence a lot, specifically domestic violence. Lepas tu, of course, on the empowerment part, we're talking about socio-economic empowerment, capacity building for women, especially building dia punya digital presence on social media. You know, talking about, of course, kalau community, dulu it's a very, very localized macam tu. Tapi sekarang, we dah move forward to digitalization kan. So we can reach to anyone with the common interest, with the similar interest, with, you know, kalau you nak share and connect and all that. So we focus on empowering them on starting a business and sharing it or marketing it on social media. So that's where we're coming on the capacity building part. And of course, the community building part, kita cuma bukan ajar dia orang. We also, bila kita dah ajar dia orang all are part of community already because they all have similar interests, similar pain points, similar pleasure points, or whatever they call that, and they all become a community. So they support each other. So that's the journey. Kalau you tanya kalau okay, just starting with a problem je, you solve and you relieve them, it doesn't work that way because it's a journey, and that's why we create an ecosystem so that women, as in who we focus especially is small business owners, stay-at-home moms, macam pekerja kecil pula, peniaga kecil, macam itulah we focus and we create an ecosystem for them. So that's what we basically do at Moms Village dengan my amazing partner Roslyn. So I ni on the advocacy side sikit because it's a social enterprise kan. So on the advocacy part, on the social innovation part, and Roslyn comes a lot with the business knowledge and business aspect of it, the operational side, and of course not only us, kita ada lagi 4 amazing people who are with us, also all remote nya, tak pernah, some of them tak pernah pun tengok face to face. You know, we have one of them who's based in Sabah and tak pernah pun tengok face to face, but we are connected, and that's how we have been working for the past 3 years or so. So that's the journey of why Moms Village started, the inspiration behind it. And of course, our vision is to create a digital tribe, a digital village, creating a digital village behind every woman. So that's, and also that people can just be empowered anywhere, anytime, anywhere. And of course, sekarang with digital, you can work anywhere. Kan? So yeah, that's the journey and why I started.
Wow, okay. I'm sure kalau yang mula-mula masa community yang you approach tu memang random throughout the country or maybe dekat-dekat je dulu?
So bila started dulu dia macam KL, Selangor dululah. But of course because it's I was entirely on social media. So social media, anyone can come from anywhere. So that journey of getting people to get connected, it just randomly all over Malaysia. Lepas tu Singapore pun ada, India pun ada. So that's how it just little lah they grow. Of course sebab Malaysian kita punya whether it's political landscaping or our social values or dia different sikit daripada from other countries. Especially the Western countries. So this community is more inclined to the Asia lah. So
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's a very interesting introduction, Vatsala. So can we straight away go to the question number 1?
Yep.
Okay. The question number 1, what is community building according to you, and how does women come part of that naturally?
Right. So, I mean, like I said earlier about why I started, so we had common interests. So community ni macam dia, it's about common interest, people coming together, or common goals coming together, common objective, common experiences coming together. So they come to share, connect, exchange, empower, and grow together. And that's like, for me, that's the definition of community building. I don't want to go into the psychological part of it or what. So even if you're talking about community, from an individual, 2 individuals make a family, or 2 or more people make a family, and then from the family, the extension, the next immediate extension is the community itself. So of course, for a lot of time, we do community-based project. Kalau you remember kan, masa kita kecil-kecil dulu ada rukun tetangga. I don't know how effective is it still right now, tapi dulu ada rukun tetangga. Every Sunday they used to have this coloring contest ke, or they used to have people gathering there, jual-jual banyak makanan and so on. Just a minute now. Right, sorry. So that part where we get together. So that was a community already. So similarly, coming from that community part where people share or not, for women especially, we are empathic. We are naturally, we thrive in communities. Dia orang cakap kan, perempuan ni suka gossip. Actually, it's no. It's a safe space for them for sharing. So kalau dulu-dulu, kalau tengok zaman, not my mom tak jarang pula ingat dia pergi pasar ke apa. My grandmother used to go pasar, used to ikut dengan dia, and she used to talk to all this we call them aso kan, this Chinese auntie, lepas tu nenek, yang selling nasi lemak. She'll be talking to them, and then she'll be talking random things even about us. I mean, like, kenapa you nak cakap pasal I kan? But that was their support system. It was literally for them to share, like, this is what happened. Lepas tu dia balik rumah, and she became it was very macam dia release kat sana kan, whatever she wants to say or whatever she wants to release yang ada dalam hati dia balik rumah, and she continues with the work. Of course, it's unpaid or undervalued work, as a routine work, but she feels less lonely in that journey. So, and you see, and that talking about their mental health was very good. In fact, for Sundays, for Christians, they all gather in the churches, or they have summoning. On Fridays, our Muslim brothers who gather together, so they all have like a community, because it's a space where they boleh beramah mesra, boleh cakap-cakap, boleh exchange opinions. It feels good about that. So when I talk about women, because they're naturally empathic, they're naturally sharing. Usually kan, kalau dulu dalam estate pun kan, kalau one house they cook, kalau ada extra dia bagi untuk neighbors, and that's how they live together as community. There's a sharing there. Kalau anak neighbor datang kat rumah I tanya lapar pun, we do feed them. We share, we feed them with our hands, dengan bola-bola nasi. They do that. So that's how they thrive together. And you're looking at their mental health at that point of time. They used to say, dulu boleh jaga je 5-6 anak, sekarang 1 anak pun susah. But today we are a nuclear family. We don't have support system. We are thriving together. It's exhaustion. Regardless whether it's working women or it's a stay-at-home mom. Stay-at-home moms do us a lot of unpaid work and undervalued work, which is a routine work, and there's no economical contribution part of there. And looking at the working mothers who work outside and come back home and do continue that chores and all that, it's an exhaustion, right? Of course, with a pandemic, the data that WHO says that women's role, especially the unpaid work part or the chores, or it has increased 2.5%. So what is happening to the women's mental health? And when kita ada tempat nak sharing, tak ada community, it becomes a lonely journey, and the mental health is affected. Kalau mental health is affected, the next first thing that's going to be affected individual is the family. And from the family, it is the community. And a lot of social problems are brewing because there are problems in families we should not address. So like what we do in Moms Village, we of course, we advocate against domestic violence. So why is that happening? It doesn't only stop at gender-based violence or patriarchy or male chauvinism. It's not that. It's about a belief system that developed by people surrounding us. And who is these people surrounding us? It's the community. So it is so vital to build a good community, a safe community, or intellectual community that shares a good values and belief system. So that's why I see that women are naturally community builders. Kalau you bagi women money, she will go back home and give to her or her anak, or she probably will do something for the community. And it's always like it's natural empathy in her that's naturally inborn. I'm not saying men don't have that, but women has it more, maybe due to her naluri keibuan, we are naturally nurturing. We want to nurture people, and that's where we leverage on our community building part. So you see a lot of women around the world who are community builders are women. Men thrive or drives on the women force to build communities because women do that more effectively. And of course, men are more management oriented, like more good managers, but as in like the empathy, that hard part, there is definitely women. So yes, that's why women, the core of it is definitely leaders of community building.
Yeah, that's a good point, Vatsala, because as now we are having digital society, we are in a digital society, so it's a great advantage. I like the point when you say that this can be a support system, especially to the nuclear family nowadays. Yeah. All right. So we go straight to the second question. how does community building helps women in empowering them socio-economically?
Right. So there's two parts, social and economically. So talking about social part of it, definitely is fostering connection. Like I said, sense of belonging. Kalau Maslow's hierarchy of needs, sense of belonging is a need by itself. It feels like I belong to this place, I belong to this community who understands me, and I trust them, and I can share with them. Right? Macam dekat, people used to ask me, macam mana all these women are messaging you? I don't even know these women. Like, they actually see me on Facebook and they just message me randomly, their followers who I tak pernah message or tak pernah comment, tak pernah share my post, and they just message me at the back and say that, you know what, I'm going through this, or what, I've read this, I've done this, and today I feel I've done this and I feel empowered and I'm here now. So that journey, that story is because they're connecting digitally. Tak pernah tengok saya, tak tahu pun siapa saya tak pernah bagi dia anything for her to follow me, but that information feeding that I've been writing, the stories that I've been writing, has been fostering her to build a connection. So it becomes like, okay lah, I rasa I can connect to her. It's a safe space. I can, and share this. The connection is there. So that's very important. And like I said, so when there's a connection, it automatically fosters sharing. So when you're talking about sharing, sharing is so important. Why are we sekarang, our quality of life is compromised. Our mental health is mental health, not even in Malaysia, it's all over the world globally. It's in crisis because our fast-paced life, bullying of course, one side of it is the social problems that comes along with that. Of course, domestic violence, gender-based violence, blah blah blah, terrorism, people are killing each other, and so much of things. Even on social media, below you scroll, you can find more negative things being shared as compared to the positive ones, right? So when you need to share something, you need to have like people who like positive lah, like takkan you negative dan another person also jangan bagi negative sekali dengan dia tuang minyak sekali dengan tu minyak tanah, and it's burning more. You want to have that sharing, a safe space, and you want people to give you right things or safe things to do instead of just blaming you and also that, see, community building collectively, it fosters that sharing, so they feel less lonely that journey. Dia jadi support system. Bukan satu orang yang akan cakap, dia akan few people. And when you have few people saying the same thing, you feel like, oh, empowered. You feel like, I can do this, I'm not alone. Even though you, like myself, we are doing the digital village and we are like everywhere around the country, let's say, but we feel like there's a sense of connectedness. Boleh connect, you can get connected. So from that connectedness, bila you dah sharing, it doesn't end there. It also fosters collective learning. They boleh learn together. So apa experience I mungkin could be useful for you. It could be macam, like I said, dulu masa nenek I pergi cakap dengan nenek-nenek or asuh-asuh dekat pasar tu kan, asuh tu akan cakap, you tahu tak anak I, tapi kan you bagi dia ni, bagi dia makanan ni, mungkin dia sakit pasal ni ke, you try this because this is kita orang Cina bagi ni je lah, so it's like a learning. Oh, okay, then dia balik rumah, dia cuba, lepas dia cuba, probably it's working. So it's like, they share experience, so it's learning. Oh, I also learned another person's culture. So it's not only culture that they'll be learning, they also learn about entrepreneurship. So you talk about social part kan. So in here on Mom's Village part, we focus a lot on the economical building. We also run a campaign called #10 ringgit. So it's like driving that mindset change for women to earn just 10 ringgit per day. And especially for victim of domestic violence kan, dia punya value or self-worth is already diminished. When dia earn that 10 ringgit by herself, doing things that she loves, she feels like, wow, I never felt this in such a long time. From a place where I used to be said that I was useless, you are like a burden to me, want to spend a 10-15 ringgit pun kena tanya orang. You want to buy a sanitary pad for yourself pun kena tanya orang lain. But when you just have 10 ringgit, you rasa nak beli nasi lemak satu dengan sirap bandung. Oh, sedap. You know, you feel like fulfilled, and I've earned that money, and it doesn't end there. It continues that journey. So when there's a continuation, there are a lot of innovation that happens, because when they learn from each other, it could be another person's idea. Bila dia absorb, because dia punya values, belief system, dia punya experience lain, dia boleh, innovation can happen. So that a lot of, like now, dulu we used to have this thing called okay, let's say putu mayam and all that, okay? But nowadays, walaupun putu mayam came from India or what, but today a lot of people are selling it berwarna-warni lagi. So that's an innovation. And if we were to ask them where did they got there, they would have learned from other people. Maybe dia punya neighbor ke, maybe dia pergi somewhere and they say, hey, you know what, this one macam mana nak buat ni? Boleh Google and YouTube. So okay, I think maybe can innovate sikit lah, kita tambah warna sikit, jadi macam kuih jala sikit. So you see, that can happen. That's why the collective learning, it's a journey, like I said. And of course, bila you dah learn and innovate and all that, you grow together. Tak ada pula you feel left out from that community. So even in our case, there are some stay-at-home moms or victims of DV. Dia tak nak buat apa-apa, dia not ready. And that's okay. Walaupun dia not ready, bila dia tengok wanita-wanita lain, dia buat macam ni, dia macam-macam lah, kita buat e-bazaar, selling online, we stream that half an hour and all that. Dia rasa macam, I pun nak buat lah macam tu. So within 6 months lah, I give myself a timeline to see, 6 months, even to up to 3 years lah. I have some people, 3 years, okay, now I'm ready to do this. Sebab they are trauma, dia punya trauma is unhealed, and they're still in that same environment. Lepas tu, sometimes, almost every day, they are undergoing the same cycle of violence. So, it's very difficult to break free unless you have awareness. So when there's a community that's constantly giving you awareness, that's constantly sharing you, macam mana dia survive, macam mana dia boleh buat macam ni. You know what? I was where you were before, and now I have grown. I want you to come with me. I handhold with you. Kita buat macam human chain lah, kita jalan towards the same goal. So that is that journey of that community building. And of course, experience ke, and like I said, it can become like a movement tau. So when of course, Mom sudah cakap advocacy part, kita ada buat a ring for roses movement. So dia macam, dulu macam masa MCO, everyone staying at home, DV dah increase by 500%. Globally itself. Malaysia tak payah cakap lah. Even there's an increase, nobody comes out or less people comes out to make a report. So masa tu, I had an idea in India, they buat macam bell bajau. Bell bajau maksudnya come and ring the bell. So when you hear cries of abuse, whether it's child or men or women, they go and ring the bell. Lepas tu tanya, ada gula-gula tak? Oh, gula-gula pula. Ada gula tak? Ada newspaper tak? It's just to interrupt that cycle of violence. And who can do that? It's a community is the one who can do that. Right? Dulu, if you still remember, kalau tak ada bawang, my mother used to irritate me, go to the neighbor and ask bawang. I was like, why must I go and ask the neighbor, go and buy lah? No, I need to cook now. So go and ask the neighbor. So literally, tak ada buku 35 lah, but you go and ask from the neighbor, susu pekat lah, gula lah, usually onions lah, my mother. Okay, so that is how we have been. And that became, of course, utilizing that part of it, we created this, inspired by Bell Bajau. We said, okay, let's do this. So ring a bell. Tanya je. So because the thing, when victim feels that, oh, someone is coming forward, I feel less alone. Mungkin I can come forward to them. Dia akan trust saya sebab dia pernah dengar I jerit kesakitan, or the other person was hitting me or screaming at me. The other person dengar and they came forward. It's a community. And you feel less alone when you feel people trust you, people believe you. And that's what a lot of victim, whether it's victim of rape, victim of domestic violence, victim of cyberbullying, they want people to stand by them, trust them, and fight with them. Yes. Right?
Yeah, thank you, Vatsala. So, masa pun cepat je, walaupun banyak nak share ni, Vatsala. Tinggal 6 minit je. Okay, question number 3 ni kan. In today's world, we digitalize almost everything. Yeah. So can community be digitalized, and what are the avenue for that? in question number 3 ni, you can share with us lah, especially on your leadership with your partner, on how to make this happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think I've touched a lot part of it, masa introduction, also in the second part of it. So like I said, shared community, shared interest, shared values, shared belief system, shared experiences. That's what happened.
Shared culture.
Yes, in Facebook or in social media sites, Facebook ada community groups. Now Facebook pun dah community centric. It's even if in your page, as in a business page, if you're always talking about your product and your, bayar, beli ini, beli itu, you punya visibility is reduced by Facebook. You're not going to be out there. When you're sharing community-centric posts or values or information, you become a little bit more higher lah dalam algorithm dia. So, and of course, as community and on Facebook groups, kita ada, like we in Mom's Village, our Facebook group is called Homepreneur Empowerment Network. So where it's a place where both men and women come and sell and share, and then we also have sharing. We have digital activities. We do e-bazaar. Orang buat bazar dekat bazar Ramadan dekat pasar malam, kita buat dekat online, and we stream it on 3 different sites for half an hour. All right, and then and we also have other people who are part of the same community will come and engage you. So when you come and comment on my post, you punya kawan can see about that post, so it increases their visibility. So that is why, and when I'm talking about increased visibility, so usually kita punya kawan semua ada similar interest lah kan. So it's very easy to capture your audience, because end of the day, the thing about making a sale is about capturing your target market. Right. So when one person is already your target market, very much potentially up to 65%, dia punya kawan-kawan pun your target market. So that's how we do. So of course, like I said, that digitally we do it on social media. We do Facebook, LinkedIn pun ada group. Okay, and then of course, these two are, LinkedIn is more career oriented, whereas Facebook is more socially connected. Dia macam dia orang cakap orang-orang tua je dalam Facebook. Actually no, okay, one day all of you will come and reach here lah. Don't have to say orang tua je, okay. No, it's for generation like us to foster connection. We need that. We need that, and communities like this, you can reach out bukan je in local. You boleh buat just Seri Kembangan alone, lepas tu, or no, I want to maybe make Selangor, so you can make even Selangor alone. Not only Selangor, satu Semenanjung Malaysia pun boleh, satu Malaysia pun boleh, Southeast Asia pun boleh, globally pun boleh. So that's the power of digital, because you don't have to be physically there, and because we have internet, we can connect all over the people globally.
So masalah, kalau yang you punya ni, yang those yang get the benefit, the youngest one umur berapa? Yang paling eldest yang pernah join your group ni berapa?
Okay, youngest one, I cannot track lah. I mean, we have 18 years old that's coming forward, even though they're not stay-at-home mom, because they are like, they want to get empowered, right? But the yang paling tua punya was 65 or 68. She came in because she wanted to train herself to sell on social media. And there's one more person there. I think this Auntie Amarjit, she's about 60 years old, and dia buat video TikTok, Instagram, selling chapati. Like, but that's the way. It's a free platforms. Apa yang susah-susah? You tak payah bayar agency buat PR marketing for you, because for a small business owner, all these limited resources, limited money for them, kan? So you just use free platforms. You leverage on their USP dia orang. So that's how they use. And of course, 65, 68 years old, if I'm not mistaken, and she did it very well. So yes, age is not a limitation pun. Usually, as long as you know how to use these digital platforms, right? That's all.
Encourage them to do it. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Kita hanya tinggal seminit saja lagi, Vatsala. Do you have anything to say to the audience?
Right. I think nothing much to say. I think every woman needs to earn her own 10 ringgit. Even though hari ni it's not useful for you, one day down the road you will realize that is so important for you. Anyone can go into crisis now. Accidents can happen. Malapetaka boleh terjadi. People 40 years old can die of heart attack and all that. I'm not fear-mongering, but you need to be ready. You need to be having a social support system. Connect to people digitally. Kalau you tak boleh keluar, tak apa. connect to people digitally, and that's a way if you to feel less lonely for your mental health, for your quality of life, to even have socio-economic empowerment for yourself, especially for women. We are thriving a lot. We dah ada banyak problem lah to settle with. Let's just stand together because we only have each other.
Thank you, Vatsala.
Yeah. Don't forget to follow us on our social media sites.
Yes.
Okay, Moms Village.
Moms Village. Ya, betul. Saya alu-alukan kepada semua pendengar hari ini supaya layari Moms Village, kerana terdapat banyak perkara yang kita dapat belajar daripada NGO yang telah diusahakan oleh
not NGO, Social Enterprise.
Social Enterprise oleh Vatsala dan juga rakannya Rosalinda. Banyak yang kita dapat lihat bagaimana community building ni banyak membantu wanita terutamanya, dan mungkin ini juga boleh inspire untuk wanita-wanita lain untuk membantu wanita ini dalam bentuk yang lain. I'm sure seperti yang Vatsala wawarkan tadi, tentulah mental health dan banyak lagi masalah domestic violence dan sebagainya dapat diatasi sekiranya kita dapat membantu komuniti sekeliling kita. Alright, Vatsala, terima kasih banyak-banyak walaupun setengah jam, tapi I'm sure it's very meaningful for your sharing today.
Yes.
Terima kasih banyak-banyak, Vatsala.
Thank you.
Kita jemput lagi
Yes.
Thank you. Bye. Terima kasih semua. Assalamualaikum.